Welcome, coaches. Hope everybody is having a great day, good morning, good evening, wherever you may be in the world. If you can let me know in the comments where you're joining me from today, and let me know if the audio and the video is coming in nice and clear here. Today, I've been going live for the last several weeks and been doing some dribble drive motion talks. So for today's DDM hoop talk, I'm going to go over the push series. It's a very popular action to get into a zone offense or to overload the zone and quickly get you into some actions, which dribble drive motion offense likes to do. The main question I always get from the Hoop Talk group or email or on the YouTube channel is, what do you do versus zone if you run a dribble drive motion offense? Well, this is one of the things I do. I do still use dribble drive motion offense concepts when we're dribbling, but I don't believe I solely use dribble drive versus zones. I use various different things, just like anybody else, trying to attack the soft spots of the zone, the high post, the short corners, the mid post, and trying to get the ball inside and play inside out still. I think when you play A to B to C along the perimeter, top side, that is a difficult three-point shot. Your easier three-point shots are off of dribble penetration and playing inside out, or getting the ball inside via the pass to a post and then fanning it out weak side or what have you. So we're going to dive into some X's and O's now. And if you have any questions as I'm going through this, drop them in the chat in the Facebook group or in the comments section on YouTube. So let me bring up, here we go. All right. So the first thing that we want to talk about versus the zone is, in traditional DDM spacing, we're usually in the corners. So I elevate the 2 and the 3 between the top row and the bottom row, who would be guarding those wings. So they're slightly above the bottom row and between the other two, so that they have to communicate who is going to guard that. And the action is initiated by the point guard. And the key, in my opinion, to this action is the start. Is we want to engage X1. We want to make them guard us to the wing area. If you don't do that, this action will not work as well, because everybody will match up to the passes and you won't get the overload triangle on the weak side. So we dribble right at X1 to initiate them, and then we drag them to the wing area. 4 is going to get to the top of the circle, head on the rim line, and now teams will defend this different ways. We're going to go over the counter if they deny this, but most teams, if you do this, X2 would get to the high post area to prevent a high post pass, and they'll allow this ball reversal. Some teams will deny it, and I'll show you what you do if they deny that here shortly. So we swing it 1 to 4 to 3. So as you can see, X2 would be guarding 4, and X4 is now guarding 3. This leaves 2 cutting to the corner in an overload situation unguarded. X5, your center, or your 4, depending on what numbering system you use with your Wahlberg dribble drive, or if you're a Wahlberg dribble drive numbering person, then that would be a 4. But most people are probably calling that their 5 as their post. They're going to screen the center of the zone. Now, if X5 wants to fight over this and go, by all means, let them. Fake pass, throw it right here for a layup. So you have this triangle right here, 3 players being guarded by 2. And that is the genesis of the push action and this dribble entry. So when we throw it to 2's options would be shoot it, feed the post, or they could potentially drive it and then cause a defense to collapse and fan it out to perimeter players for a potential wide open jump shot. Now, let's go back to, well, what if they take the 4 away? What if this pass to 4 is not available and they took it away? Well, this area of the floor is wide open. Our offensive player 3 would cut. So now you would have 3 in the high post, 2 in the corner, 5 in the dunker spot. So if X5 came up to take that away and X4 slid in, you would still go 1 to 3 to 2 in the corner for a 3-point opportunity. And if that doesn't work, you're straight into a traditional 1-3-1 offensive attack to attack a 2-3 zone here. So that is one of the ways that you would counteract this action. The next things that you can do here, well, let's just take a look at it in a game setting here for you. So this team right here, Clackamas, ran it, and if you notice, she's high and wide, really wide. They're spaced in the corners. They're running, and she didn't really dribble over here to the wing. So in my eyes, what would happen here is when they throw it to her, she came in here, that would be matched. If that player came here, that's matched. So it doesn't work as well when you don't drag it. You're not going to have it. This player doesn't actually need to guard this player out here if this pass is thrown way out here. I wouldn't even come guard this. So when that pass gets thrown the wing, your top guard would bump that. So that would leave your bottom to guard this corner runner. But let's see what they get out of it. Okay, so she made a great adjustment. They passed, and she attacked the gap, and it still left the 3-on-2 situation. This defender went to guard here, leaving the corner open. Gave them an open 3-point attempt. Okay. Here is another action off of it. Okay, she didn't drag her over again. So they could bump this. But the defense is still put into a 2-on-1 situation. Bottom player is guarding wing and corner. And she's getting ran at. So she drives it. And now she has open here for catch and shoot, paint touch 3. So as you can see, it creates offense quickly. Let's go back to the animated drawings here and show you how you would get into a traditional 1-3-1 offense if this does not work. Okay, on this pass, okay, most of the time this is going to get you a good shot. All right. Okay, so she has the ball in the corner, or he. If you don't get a shot, say X4 bumped down and recovered, we're going to dribble up. If that's a shooter, X4 is more than likely going to come up. X2 will then eventually bump them off and take that. X1 is going to be here. So if 2 has the ball, when 2 dribbles up, we want to send 3 to the short corner, and we want to send 5 to the mid post. So if X4 is coming up, you have a throwback here, puts X5 in this tough spot. Do I guard mid post or do I guard short corner? So when the ball goes to the short corner, 1 would get to a drift. Let's show it a little bit. Let's put, so 2 has the ball in the corner. 1 or 3's here. 4's here. 1's here. 5 is here. 2 has the ball. So you could see it here. We would dribble up. We would get like that. So the options would be throw it to the baseline and get a, if you threw it here, then 5 would dive. 1 would get there. 4 would probably be over here. And 5 is diving to the rim on the pass. If they guard it differently, when 5 comes up here, say X5 hangs back low and we hit here, 3 would cut and you get your high-low. If you don't have anything, off of this, now we're just in a traditional, and you decide if 3 is your short corner runner, 5 is going high post to high post, and now you're into a short corner high post attack. It's a very quick way to run it. Going back to video here, you do not have to do it off the dribble. You can do it off of the pass. So here, maybe your point guard's your best shooter, and you want to get them into the overload situation. So now we're going to overload it with the point guard in the corner. Okay, wide open, catch and shoot 3. Okay. So those are various ways that you can do this. You can add pitchbacks and start it different ways. You could run it. You don't have to run it to the right side. Maybe your best shooter's in the left-hand corner and you want to bring the ball up. So then you would run it this way. Or you could have a push 2 call, a push 3 call, a push 1 call, and make things simple for your players. And it's just knowing that we need to overload that corner, and it gets us into a quick attack. See some, let's see here. Oh, we got some people spamming. Okay, great. No worries. All right. Andy's from Alaska. Thanks for joining us today, Andy. If there's any questions in there, you guys can drop them in. I'll wait a few minutes here and see if there's any questions, take some questions here. But that's what I kind of wanted to show you guys today as your season's getting started. I know we start on November 14th. We're 11 days away from our first game. Some people have already played a game, and I know you're going to face zone. If you're running dribble drive motion offense and you are good at it, teams will zone you. So you got to have a plan of action and don't want to panic. You want to keep it simple, and you want to give your kids the best opportunity to succeed. And this one has been around for a long time, has great zone concepts of overloading the zone, putting 3 players where 2 have to make decisions, and you get really good at things. So some key points real quick before we sign off is, again, dragging that X1 to the wing. So now that X2 has to guard 4. And now X4 has to make a decision. If they stay flat and don't want to guard and just go here, when you swing this, then they would drive this gap. If that player isn't a good shooter or they are not honoring them, the key is for them to be like free throw line extended or here. If they're way out here on the reversal, then X4 doesn't have to honor it and guard it. So make sure that they get to the right spots on this action. And then 5 screens, whoever's going to guard that area of the zone. So you can run this against a 1-2-2. You can run it against a 1-3-1. You can run it against a 1-1-3. Your post just needs to know who to screen. Next logical player. So if X5 is already out here, cheating the corner, there's no point of X5 setting the screen. Just let them be ahead of you and duck in there and get a layup. Don't fight it. Just go get the layup. They want to take away your 3, that's fine. We'll go get a bucket in the paint. So can you do a loop through nail cut into a push 3? Yeah, coach. Let's see. So can you do a loop through? Okay, so we'll do a loop cut, and we dribble, and then we engage. 3 would cut along the baseline. 5 would have to get to the other side. 2 would come up. 4 would have to get here. We would swing, 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 and then you're into it. Hopefully that helps you to see that. Yeah, you can do whatever you want. You can do the normal dribble drive, false motions. You can through cut it. You can put whoever you want in those spots. You guys know your personnel better than I do. But typically your best shooter is the 2. So you're going to probably want to get them the first opportunity to shoot the ball, or you move them around and put them in different spots so that the defense cannot get a beat on it. But that's what I have today for you. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Join the Facebook group if you're not in there yet. Lots of good conversations in there and questions weekly. And best of luck to you guys as you are starting your season. One last question I got here before we sign off from Jan or Jan. Sorry if I butchered that. Are you asking your players to attack gaps off the dribble drive with this? We're always trying to get the ball into the paint. So if the gap presents itself versus the zone, we're going to take it. And I always like to use the term beat 2/5 of the zone. If you're never going to get, I shouldn't say never, but if you're able to beat all 5 players to the rim by off the dribble versus a zone, it doesn't matter what you're going to run. You're going to beat that team anyways. That's lousy defense. So you're trying to probably at best beat 2/5 of the zone, beat 2 players, and then make your decision on whether it's a mid-range pull-up in the lane, a dump down to your post, going from dunker spot to cutting to the basket, or a pass to one of your wing players, probably for an open, uncontested rhythm 3. Again, everybody, let me know if you have any questions. I'll check out the comments on YouTube later today and in the chat on the Facebook groups. You guys have a great week, and we'll see you on the next one.